Welcome to Mindful Talk, brief conversations about mindfulness in the workplace and at home. I am your host, Lauren Wessinger.
And I'm your host, Misty Anderson. And this podcast is brought to you by the Mindful Project.
The Mindful Project helps you elevate the culture of your business by bringing mindfulness practice to you and your staff through in-person and virtual learning. Contact us through our website, themindfulproject.co, for more information. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mindful Talk. Today, Misty and I are bantering about taking care of yourself during the holiday season. Hi, Misty.
That's so important. And like most of our conversations, I'm really glad that we're having this because this is basically therapy for me and all of the practices that I will continue to do, just like you guys probably will try to do. So it couldn't come at a better time because I was telling Lauren before we even got started, well, let me back up. I really value Thanksgiving. And I just find Christmas is so in your face. I also love Christmas, so nothing against anything there. But when I go into a store right now just to get something, it's like Christmas is so in my face that I feel like this sudden anxiety that like I'm not doing everything I should be doing right now, which is insane because I know, because I've thought through it myself, that I want to observe Thanksgiving. I want to have fall decor in my home. And then the day after, I'll put my tree up and proceed with Christmas. But it's like when it's in your face and everybody else, quote unquote, is doing it, it tends to bring up those anxious feelings. And so some simple self-care for me right now, this sounds really silly, is a lot of online shopping. I don't feel near as pressed and I don't fall to like, well, I need to get that because, it's here and everybody else has it. That because I'm human. I'm not like that and I don't want to do that, but I'm human. And if I go in, I do that. So my self-care right now is online shopping.
Same. I spent the weekend planning our Thanksgiving meal, and I order food from our central market here in Fort Worth. And I ordered it all. And I was like, I'm not going in that store the week of Thanksgiving because it is a madhouse. And it just takes a little pre-planning to be able to order online. But I'm totally with you. It's funny. I had that same note to share as far as how to take care of yourself during the holidays is to honestly avoid the general public as much as possible, because it's like not only just the stores, but driving, you can feel that frantic energy on the road.
It's disappointing to me that we've taken something that's so beautiful and made it to where we have to online order and feel that way. I think for me, and I want to hear what you think, it's the hectic vibe that I don't like. Um, I I like things, I like to observe things one at a time. And that's my mindfulness practice that I try really hard at. I want to honor what I'm doing right then. And I feel like first there's October and there's Halloween, then we've got Thanksgiving, and then we've got Christmas, and then it's New Year's. And then suddenly here I'm in January, everybody's back to school, everybody's back to work, and I'm by myself and I feel like completely burned out. And I've been there before. And that is a practice in and of itself, just to not get to the January and be completely tired and then start your year with your cup empty. It's just not worth it. So the little things that you can do for yourself starting really today are going to make a big impact to how you feel in January.
Totally. And that sense of hecticness is really just rooted in lack of planning, the running out for last minute things, not even being sure what the plan is, whether it's for Thanksgiving meals or gifts for people for Christmas. And it felt really early. This weekend was November 7th weekend, but I was like, I don't want to feel like that when the holidays come. Plus, we're actually traveling and going out of town for a week, coming home Christmas Eve. And so I was like, I don't want to be getting my family ready for a trip and worrying about gathering last minute gifts. We all know the supply chain issues and shipping issues. So I'm like, I'm just getting on top of this. I'm actually not waiting till Black Friday. If I know what I'm gifting somebody for the holidays, I'm getting it now. I'm just getting it. And I already have stuff for the kids. And it feels so good to know that I'm not behind the 8 ball, you know?
I agree. And it's funny is I did that yesterday. I sat down with each girl with like that Amazon wish list book. And I was like, just go through. And then I looked them up on Amazon. I put them in the cart
Mhm.
and I took care of all that. And I've talked to several of my friends who are doing that now
Yeah,
too. Um, the planning portion is really going to help you stay grounded and stay in the moment and not continually think about what's next. What do I need to go buy? Like batteries. I feel like batteries, like for our household, last year we bought so many that we had batteries all year because we were afraid. But that's one of those things that like looms over your head. So it's like when I think of batteries now, I just get them because come Christmas morning, you're gonna need a boatload of batteries.
totally. That's so funny. It's so true.
Right?
So part of the reason we're actually posting this episode November 10th, right? That's we're recording this that week. And Misty and I talked about not posting it like Thanksgiving week or right before Christmas because learning to have a more steady holiday season means that you have to prepare for it beforehand. Like you can't decide Thanksgiving week, oh, this year's going to be different, right? It takes a little bit of prep and really setting an intention that you want things to feel different, not only for your own self, your own mental and physical health, but for your family, however your family situation looks.
Well, and I like the intentions. I make my intentions very known. It's not weird, like I don't stand up in front of my family and say my intentions are, but I let them know like Thanksgiving is a day of gratitude. And it is a day for us to celebrate what we are grateful for and all the things that we have to be grateful for. And I think it's just a beautiful holiday without having to buy gifts or do anything. You don't hunt candy, eat candy, which thank goodness for that, because I've got enough of that to last till next February. And so they know my intentions of that. And what's crazy is I've heard some of their friends, like at the bus stop this morning, saying like their families had put up the Christmas tree. And I heard my daughter say, my mom waits till the day after Thanksgiving because we really like to be grateful on Thanksgiving.
I love it.
And that's not really the whole thing, but that's the
Right.
gist of it. And I'm glad that she understands that we slow down for that, we observe it. And then, the Christmas tree and all the good stuff's coming.
What's so sweet about that too is that you're instilling traditions for them as they get older. You know what I mean? And sometimes those traditions change once you get married and you have to be a little more flexible. But I think that's really sweet.
Yeah, I think that's also something. This is my military wife hat advice for everyone. Um, in general, flexibility will help you a lot in life. Being a military wife has taught me to be uber flexible, and flexibility during the holidays, especially when it comes to your expectations, are very important. Um, you know, I I didn't grow up with like idyllic holidays, but they were good. And so I didn't have like this expectation of a picture perfect Christmas morning with my kids or whatever. I've tried really hard to let that stuff just happen on its own. And some of that has formed traditions, like you said, which is really cool. So honestly, as we talk about all the time, the perspective, that's my mindfulness practice at work. And it bleeds into my kids knowing that, we're going to slow down a little bit. We're going to take our time. We will get there. And that's not to say if your Christmas tree is up right now, power to you. Lots of family and friends. I love Christmas. But just for me, that's something that helps me with my self care. So if you have something like that, that is difficult for you, then, make that a part of something that's really important to you as far as your self care.
Definitely. I think one thing too, I have to be careful how I say this. So there's a definite trend during the holidays of shelters and different nonprofits getting an influx of help, right? Almost more help than they need. And then everybody disappears come January 1st. I've spent so much time in different volunteer situations. We spent 60 hours at the food bank during the lockdown because we needed something to do. And it was the best experience. And so I really got to know the inner workings. And what I want to say is, if it's a family tradition to go serve during the holidays, awesome, right? Always, always a great idea to go serve. If that activity ever turns challenging, or you don't want to go do it, or it feels hard to fit it in during your holidays, I'm going to say to let it go. Don't do it, and wait until late January, mid February, mid March, when everybody has disappeared, and do your family service then. It actually has a little more impact because they need help so desperately once the holidays are over. So, but if it's something that you love to do and people come into town and it's a tradition, awesome. I'm not saying don't do it. But if your energy behind it is like an obligation, or you're so busy but you have to go do this, do it a different time.
That's such good advice. That's like saying no thing, say I'm not, but you're not shutting it down. You're just doing it later and probably a better time. I love that. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
And then the other thing I was thinking this morning, I think this is probably different depending on your personality, but when we have family in town, or we're traveling with family, or we just have extended time with family, for whatever reason, I let go of my movement and my meditation.
Ugh.
Part of it is that, like, I'm not in my space and everything's weird, and everything's just sort of last minute and up in the air. I decided this year I'm not doing that, and I'm going to go do my thing and then spend the rest of the day with the family. I think part of it for me is also like, I don't want to leave the group. And like, if I'm the only one leaving the group in the morning to go work out, is that weird? I decided to not care anymore because I need that in order to stay close to myself, in order to make good decisions throughout the day, in order to not leave myself and to come home feeling decent rather than depleted. So I'll let you know how it goes this year.
I am really proud of you. And I'll sign up for that as well. I'm
Deal.
in with it because I don't, um, that my meditation practice and my yoga practice are so important to what keep me grounded. And if I'm not a grounded Misty, you're going to get the not good version of her.
Right.
And
And
that's
it's
not the
not.
version I want around on holidays for sure.
No. And it's not a thing of like, oh, just let it go. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about working out. It's not that. It is so not that. It is actually the opposite of, oh, go do your thing, because you are happier, healthier, more present, more loving when you do your thing. Like, I'm not a good version of myself when I'm not doing those things. And so I think it's a complete mind shift of like, no, I don't take a break and not take care of myself. Like, how does that make any sense? You know what I mean?
I totally agree. And I think that, if you've got a lot of people, this is where the planning comes into play,
Right.
and it's so important. And like we talked about, there's an episode way back at the beginning of January, I think, about time blocking. And if you've never listened to it, I would encourage you to, because time blocking helps you fit all of that in naturally, where it's not feeling like you're rushed or forced. And so for me, like my walk, my yoga, my meditation are just non-negotiables. They're non-negotiables for myself. And so where am I going to put those? And even on a day when I'm going to have to cook this giant Thanksgiving meal, where are those three things going to go? And that is mindfulness practice hardcore, because you've got people at your house and turkeys go in the oven and whatever, all the stuff that goes with holidays. But should I skip all of that stuff? Thanksgiving is going to be a lot more difficult for me. And I don't like that. So I'm in it with you.
For sure. I think let's keep in touch about it. We'll be each other's little accountability partners and just be like, how did it go? Did you? And if we didn't, we didn't, but at least I have to tell you if I didn't.
Yes, I love it. Find you an accountability partner for the
Yes.
holidays. If there's something you want to stick to that is really important to you because it'll keep you tethered and being the best version of yourself, get an accountability partner.
And if you're worried about like, what will they think? I think it's so important, one, to know they probably won't think anything. We create so much of that in our head of what will they think, when honestly they have their own little world they're wrapped up in, just like everybody does. They're not going to think anything. They're going to say, oh, wow, that's really inspiring. She's going to work out. That's what they'll think. And you'll be
Send us
back.
a message. Send us a message on Instagram or Facebook and tell us. I'll cheer for you. I know it's hard to get out there and do stuff for yourself when you're being pulled in a million directions. I get it.
Totally.
Uh,
Totally. And you'll be back in a flash and you'll be such a good version of yourself. It's just so worth it.
I agree. Um, so I have one last thing written down for me that was kind of important. We've talked about mindful spending before.
Mhm.
Um, the very mindful spender in me could not mention this. We live in a crazy consuming society of more, 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 more. My kids don't even have that in their universe, yet they still produce that as a human, just more, more, more. So it's in us. Um, my husband, he loves stuff and things and giving is his love language. It's not necessarily about the stuff, he just enjoys giving. I'm very frugal and I am very squirrel like. If I have a goal, I'll keep everything close to me. So I think it's important during this time, because you're going to listen to this podcast on Wednesday. This is when the conversations really need to start within your family, with your spouse or significant other, or just thoughts in your head about where your money is going and where do you want it to go to. Because I will challenge you this. Grandparents are tough because grandparents want to give their grandkids all the things, but you get all the things and it's tough. And so we've really encouraged everyone to do the experiences, which I know a lot more people are doing now. And I would rather see my kids at Six Flags having a blast than I would seeing them play with, a doll that they're going to play with here and there. And then we're probably going to donate it. Um, I also am very big on things being recyclable and reused and not going to the landfill. And so we highly use Goodwill and other thrift stores in our area. We pack everything up that we're going to donate, and then we kind of go and do some shopping because, frankly, there's some things that you can find for people that it doesn't matter that they're used. They'll be excited about it. And so those are kind of my like mindful spending. I just think the conversations and the thoughts about it really have to happen. If not, you're going to get online and you're going to click yes, 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 buy, 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 buy. Or you're going to go in the store and cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So to keep yourself from doing that and from the blues and the hangover that happens in January from all of this, start thinking about those things now. Where do you want your money to go? What's important to you? Like if you have a niece and you want her to really remember you, I challenge you to dig deep and not just get her the gift card with $20 on it. Think about like who she is, what she likes. Is there something that you could do with her or she could go do that would be a better experience for her and connect you better?
I think that's really great. We a couple years ago, my dad started working with my son on teaching him how to day trade and invest. And he has
Wow.
yeah, you can set up a custodial Charles Schwab account where like I own it until he's 21. You can actually choose the age that it transfers over to them. So it's his name, his social, I'm the adult on it. And he and my dad meet about investing. And so now for holidays, um, my my dad and stepmom send him money and he puts it into his Schwab account and he's learning how to buy and sell stocks. And it is like so cool. I can't even tell you. And I know if you don't want to get into the Schwab thing, we did a lot of research on which firm to go with and we thought they were the best, but you can do your own research. And there's even apps now. There's one called Early Bird that's for really young kids where family members can send money gifts to the kids through the app and they can start to learn how to invest. So you just have to tell your family that that's what they need. I'm all for giving a frivolous gift, but like 10 frivolous gifts that they're going to forget about in a couple of weeks is such a waste. And so let them buy the thing, and then say, hey, how about this year? Maybe with half your budget for them, could you send the money to this? And this is what we're doing. And he or she is really enjoying, learning to trade and you have to voice what you hope to happen with gifts for your kids. Otherwise, you
You get
know.
the things. Well, and the thing, what I found is people a lot of people, like I said about my husband, gift giving is their love language. So
Right.
they need to physically give you something, which I get. I try to be really good with updates and like pictures of whatever it is that the event was. But I've found that everybody's relaxed about it a little bit after COVID. And I think it's because everybody was stuck inside so long. So now we want the experiences. So this is a great year to use that as part of your plan. Gets everybody out. It gets them a gift that they know that they'll love. I think it's a good way for us to go as a society and start, gearing away from the stuff. I mean, Black Friday isn't even Black Friday anymore. Like Black Friday is now, which is insane.
Right. Yeah, we always give memberships to the zoo or to museums for events. We love getting memberships for things because then it lasts all year. So yeah, and if you feel like you want to give a little gift, like give a little gift. Like if you want to wrap something up and give it to somebody, give it to them. Like there's such joy in that, you know. But I like to look at the budget. Like if the budget is $100 for a kid, I'm like, great, let me get something they can wrap and unwrap and open. And there's such joy in that, you know, especially for a child. And then let me also give them something else that actually has longevity to it, whether it's something to do or a membership or some money to invest. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to look at it, but I'm with you.
I I really think that, from all of the spending perspectives, that's something that's really taking care of yourself. It's also, I mean, it's taking care of a lot of things because it's mindful spending, but it's taking care of you because I think everybody knows the stress of money. Like there's nothing like it. It's very tangible. You can't make it go away. So if you get yourself in that hole, you're going to experience that feeling. And I just don't like experiencing that feeling. So
It's the worst. It's
yeah.
the worst feeling.
Well, I'm glad I have you as an accountability partner. I'm hopeful that everyone will get themselves one so that they continue to move and take care of themselves. And, just throughout this time, just enjoy it. The holidays this year I feel like we have a little bit more openness and we can be together more. I know I'm going to get to see some families. So I hope that everybody slows down and just is very present. If you find yourself fast forwarding, because I do that too, remind yourself what's happening right now, what's going on right now. And sometimes what's going on right now is really great. And if you fast forward too far, you miss it. So thank you so much. And happy holidays, Lauren.
Happy holidays, Misty. So grateful for you. And I'm so, so grateful that we'll be accountability partners to take care of ourselves.
Me too. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening to Mindful Talk. We don't take it lightly that you spent your time listening to our podcast, and we are forever grateful. If you'd like to support the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a rating and a review. Welcome to a more mindful way of living and working.